What a disaster, Rube. The Eagles have a chance to take the lead with a 2-point conversion, underthrow from Ian Book. Man, what a failure. They didn't snap the streak. It's up to 24 games in a row for the Baltimore Ravens in the preseason.
And you know what Harbs would have done in that same situation? Down one with whatever, a few minutes left, he would have put Lamar Jackson in the game. I thought Nick should have put Jalen in. If Harbs wants to play that game, you can play that game too. But
wouldn't that be something to see Jalen scrambling to get his pads on?
And you knew, as soon as you saw Harbs and Nick at midfield after the game, you knew Nick said to him, I really wanted to beat you. I really wanted to end that streak. And he did. I'm sure he did. It's the stupidest thing, a preseason winning streak.
It lives on.
As dumb as it is, it would have been nice to break it. He could have kicked the extra point, and the tie would have broken the streak.
It would have. And I look up to make sure that there was no overtime in the preseason during that stretch? Maybe I did. Yeah. I should mention this is the Eagle Eye Podcast. He's Reuben Frank. I'm Dave Zangaro. Down here in Baltimore, a lot of purple here. Rube, I figured we would just kind of talk about some of our takeaways from this first preseason game. A lot of good signs, some things that were a little iffy. Yeah. I have a list of notes in front of me, but why don't you tell me, let's just bounce this back and forth a little bit.
I guess my biggest takeaway was just how smooth the offensive operation ran in the first half. I think 271 yards of offense or something like that in the first half with the twos, mainly the twos. And this is Brian Johnson's first time calling an NFL game, calling the plays. And I thought they kept the Ravens off balance. I thought the thing ran smoothly. I thought it was creative. And look, they're vanilla on the one hand, so it kind of limits how creative he can be. But for what they did, I really liked the way everything ran, and the way everything operated. And he's also out there with two very different quarterbacks, including one who's never played in the NFL, and got a lot out of him. So I was really impressed with both coordinators, but mainly with Brian Johnson and what he was able to do. That's one of the biggest stories of this preseason is what kind of play caller is he going to be? And I thought the first look at it was really impressive.
Yeah, I thought there were a few hiccups, delay a game, a couple false starts, but all that stuff you expect a little bit in the preseason with some turnover. What'd you make of Mariota? It looked a lot like practice out there.
It did. I think I texted you the exact same thing. We both tweeted it. Just he either tucked it in and took off, or he threw to Greg Ward, and that's what he's been doing all summer.
Or he overthrew.
Or a couple overthrows. I think, a couple overthrows. I would like to see him. Look, we know he can run. We know he's a good runner. Fine. I don't need to see that in a preseason game. I want to see him go through his progression, and he's not doing that. And I don't know if it's just not familiar enough with the offense to do it yet, but if your first read is covered, you can't just take off every time. Eventually it's going to, we saw Ian Book kind of do a much worse version of that, but
going the wrong way, Ian.
We'll get to that in a minute, but I don't think Mariota was bad, but I don't think it was particularly good either.
It was kind of just a glimpse into what we've seen from him in training. And look, he's not known for his accuracy. You just want to see at least hit the throws that are there. And then him running around in the preseason, I don't need to see that. Right. You just don't want him to get hurt. He's an important piece of this team as the backup quarterback. You don't want him getting hurt because some third-team tryhard is trying to make a different roster. That's scary.
Yeah, there's no reason for it. There's no need for it. We know he can run. But I will tell you one thing. If he starts 17 games this year and Greg Ward is active for all 17, Greg Ward is going to the Pro Bowl.
He has a connection with Greg Ward. He loves Greg. Every pass is to Greg Ward. It's unbelievable.
Why wouldn't you? The guy's in his 7th year. He's got good hands. He's smart. He knows how to get open out of the slot. I'd throw to him every snap too.
I thought we saw some good things from some of those depth receivers. Joseph Ngata nearly had a great touchdown catch. Couldn't quite get his body in bounds for that. Johnny King.
And had a great catch that got negated.
Ticky-tacky OPI, I thought.
It got negated, yeah. Dave. Dave's going to ignore that one.
Yep.
I thought, and I've been saying all summer that I think the depth receiver group is better than it has been in a long, long time. And you're seeing, you saw Tyree Cleveland make some plays. You saw Nagata make a couple plays. Johnny King, who just got here, I think Wednesday was his first practice, and he had a touchdown in that practice and had a couple big plays tonight. So that whole group has been really good. And it really helps a young quarterback like Tanner McKee when you have guys who know what route to run and are in the right place and can catch it.
Let's talk about Tanner McKee. I really liked what I saw from him in this game. He was throwing the ball downfield, which he hasn't really done at all in training camp. It's kind of strange. He's been throwing with velocity, especially on some slants. Like, I really like his arm strength. He gets out here, he's throwing it all over the field. He's throwing 50-50 balls. He's going back shoulder. The final stat line didn't tell the story. He was 10 for 20 for 148 yards. He was much better than that. I was impressed by him.
Yeah, I think in the third quarter, in the second quarter and third quarter, the last couple drives, he was out there with the third offensive line and maybe the fourth offensive line. I don't know who was out there, but there was a couple drops. But, yeah, I really like what I saw. He had completions of 33, 27, 19, 18, and 17 yards.
And his best throw didn't count.
Yeah, and his best throw did not count. It was 31-yard to Nagata, which was negated. But he was asked.
How many times are you going to try that joke?
At least 9, because it's hilarious. He was asked about, were you more vertical today than you have been in practice? He's like, no, I was, yeah.
He hasn't thrown the ball past the sticks all practice.
No, but it's really encouraging that a young kid, and look, he went to Stanford, he's smart, but something clicked, and he had a good practice on Wednesday. Now, Thursday didn't really do much. He had good practice Wednesday. He led that one long touchdown drive, which he capped with a touchdown to Johnny King. And he kind of took it to the next level tonight. I didn't know he had it in him. I was really impressed. Yeah,
for you being your first NFL action, there was one play. He did it again. He kind of stared down one receiver, which is something he's got to at least learn to look him off. But I thought I was very impressed by him.
Yeah, and he wasn't doing that as much. I mean, even in the last 2 weeks, you could see the growth. Mm-hmm. He's going to his second guy, going to his second read, and
he's the third quarterback, right? No question, it's over.
I don't know. Book played pretty well tonight.
Yeah, running for his life out there.
Yeah, but you also there's a time to just throw the ball away.
Yeah, he had a 21-yard sack today.
He did. I think he finished with minus 10 net passing yards.
That's rough.
That's never a good thing.
I have some other notes here from the first half. Oh, you know what? Jalen Carter played 2 snaps, and on his very first snap in the NFL, shakes free, rushes the quarterback, gets a QB hit. I mean, what a tease this is to watch this guy play 2 plays, and he gets a quarterback hit on his first in the NFL.
Yeah, he beats his college teammate, Ben Cleveland, which was pretty cool.
He was a giant, by the way. Ben Cleveland's like 6'6", 370.
Yeah, he's huge. And, Jalen just kind of made him look silly. He didn't get the sack, but he flushed him out. And, all of a sudden there's Derek Barnett. He threw it away. It was a really nice play for your first NFL snap. I mean, this kid's going to be something. He's going to be special. And you saw a little glimpse of it today. It kind of left you wanting more. I want to see more of this kid, but you understand why we didn't. There's no reason to keep him in there, but to come out and play like that, and that's the thing about these Georgia kids. They're not, and Alabama kids, and any SEC kids.
Those Vanderbilt kids are ready to go.
Vanderbilt has the smallest stadium in Division I. I just learned tonight.
Huh.
Yeah, from Amy Fadul, but. Yeah, they're the moment's never too big for them, and it was really something. I can't wait to watch this kid progress and play more. I can't wait to see him enjoy practices next week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Nolan Smith had a QB hit. More ups and downs for him, but he I think he was just ready to go. This was his first game action since he tore his pec. Late October. So he was just ready to get back on the field, and I thought he looked fine.
Yeah.
I have some other notes from the first half. DeAndre Swift had that one big run. He didn't play a ton, but he looked shifty on that. He looked really good. I thought Keely Ringo, came back and had a nice pass breakup after he got beat on a back shoulder for a touchdown. Kind of the story of his summer.
That was that back shoulder, that touchdown was, I don't know what else he could have done. Yeah,
he's been on the receiving end of a few of those in camp too. It's like
you know what I really liked about Keely Ringo was that Justice Hill run down the right sideline. He came way across the field and he was out of the play, and he showed that 4.29 whatever it is speed and knocked him out at the 16. That's a really heads up play. Now the Ravens end up scoring a touchdown, but that's the kind of thing you look for from a young guy. Is he hanging his head? Oh, we gave up a big play. No, he's on his horse and knocked him out at the 16. When he really, if you look at it, he didn't have an angle, but man, he's fast. Mm-hmm. So I like that kind of thing.
I only had one other note from the first half, and it was just Kayvon Wallace was everywhere, making tackles. He was really very active.
Yeah, I like what I saw from him.
Knocked the ball out one time.
Yeah, I thought all the safeties looked pretty good.
Oh, actually. You know what we didn't talk about? The guys who didn't dress out for this game, which I think is notable.
Yeah.
Obviously, there were some injuries. Devin Allen didn't play. Patrick Johnson didn't play. We found out, who was it? Covey and Zacchaeus? Was that it? Nick said after.
Quez.
Quez. It was Quez and Covey have hamstring injuries, so they didn't play. But as far as the guys who, like the starters, didn't dress, it's Reed Blankenship is one of them. This kid was undrafted a year ago, fighting for his roster spot. This year, he gets to walk out of the tunnel in street clothes with Fletcher Cox and Jason Kelsey.
Yeah, this is 2 straight preseasons where he hasn't played in the first, second, or third quarter of preseason games.
I like that.
He was mop-up guy. I'm going to go through the list real quick of the guys that didn't play. Jalen, Slade, Devontae, Reddick, A.J. Brown, Zacchaeus, Gainwell, Quez, Nakobe, Britton Covey, Bradbury, Maddox, Blankenship, Boston Scott, Deion Kane, who's hurt, Patrick Johnson, who's hurt, Cam, Brandon Graham, Kelsey, Lane, Mulata, Dickerson, Devin Allen, Goddard, Fletch, and Sweat. Nakobe, I would have liked to see Nakobe. I get that he's coming off an ankle, but he was full go on Thursday. I think he needs to play. I get it. He'll be out there.
I wanted to see him play too. Do you think it was all injury, or do you think it was he's just a starter? So
it's a great question. I wish I knew the answer. Maybe they've seen enough. They don't think he needs to play. To me, and it's not a knock on him, but he's played 34 snaps in his career. He's got the green dot helmet. He's playing the Mike linebacker. They're giving him this job, and he's never played. And I just think he needs some snaps.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I mean, if he was tearing it up in preseason, and it's not that he's been bad, but I just think he needs to work.
I totally agree. I thought we'd maybe see him a little bit tonight. So what are you going to do?
Yeah.
I have some second half notes here.
Second half.
Dennis Kelly got beat by a spin move. It was a great spin move, but
ugly.
Yeah, it's rough. I mean, I don't know if Dennis Kelly's going to make this team, and that's not. I don't want to overreact on one play. I just mean because if Tyler Steen is your best left tackle, then I don't know if you need Dennis Kelly.
And I liked what I saw from Tyler Steen. I thought he had some look. He's got a race.
Rewatch him honestly.
I saw a few blocks that I just really showed his power and his athleticism. Obviously, he's got a long way to go. I mean, he just moved from right guard to left tackle, and he played both tonight. But I think he might have a little bit of something.
Yeah, I can't really I wasn't able to watch him closely in this game, but I know at practice he's looked really smooth at left tackle.
Yeah, I liked what I saw.
Yeah, Mekhi Gardner, nice forced fumble on the punt. I mean, a guy who's trying to fight for a roster spot or a practice squad spot, that's a nice play. And he wasn't the only backup defensive back making plays. We saw Mario Goodrich with a few pass breakups. And then, of course, Eli Ricks pick 6. Big play for him. He's been quiet most of the summer, but
has not had a good camp.
Yeah, that'll get you noticed.
Yeah, and he jumped the route. He's got to stop with the trash talking and all that stuff. He did it. And he had a nice pass breakup on the next drive.
Why has he got to stop the trash talk?
Because he's getting a penalty.
He didn't get a penalty, did he?
But he probably could have and should have. I mean, you can't do that stuff. If he does that, I mean, Whatever.
I want him to keep trash talking.
I know you do. If you can answer this question, I'll buy you a beer. Who's the last Eagle with a preseason pick six?
I mean,
it was not
got to be
Gallen.
someone obscure. Ja'Cory Shepherd.
That's a great guess. It's actually Michael Kendricks.
Oh, really? Okay.
2017 off.
I was just trying to think of a kind of, a flashy, obscure defensive back.
Yeah, Ja'Cory Shepherd is a good answer. We had a Ja'Cory Shepherd channel in Slack for like 3 years. I just started. It's gone now, but and look, Ricks is a really interesting story. He has not had a good camp. We know he started at LSU, transferred to Alabama, played 1 year there, didn't go well. He went from being like a really lauded big-time prospect and maybe a first-round pick in the conversation to being undrafted. But you saw his talent there. And, that was a nice pass breakup, too, he had on the next drive on third down.
Yeah.
So the kid's got something, and we didn't really see it the last few weeks, but we saw it tonight. That was impressive stuff. Look, there's no roster spot for him, but certainly got noticed.
And if he sticks around on the practice squad, you never know. Because Mario Goodrich did that last year. Now he's out here making plays. So,
yep,
you never know.
Yeah, they got some talent at cornerback.
How about Sidney Brown? It looked like they shot him out of a rocket in the second half.
Yeah, you could tell he was just talking to him during the week. He was ready to hit anybody and anything. I thought he made some nice plays. What do you have, like 17 tackles? I think
some of them were like 10 yards downfield, which isn't what you want, but he was active.
I think him and Ben Van Sumeren had like a combined 30 tackles in the fourth quarter. But yeah, you like his motor. We know he's not a finished product. We know he's got a ways to go. But you love the hustle, you love the effort, and you certainly love the passion that he plays with. Yeah,
he plays with his hair on fire. If he ever ends up being good, he's going to be such a fan favorite. You can see it. He just even like there was the one deep ball and he dove for it. He was nowhere near it, but it's like that effort is fun. And man, he was flying around.
He was. His brother had a good game. I was watching the Bengals-Packers game for a little bit. Was that, I guess, yesterday? His brother had a couple nice plays. Chase, 5th-round pick.
We should mention Sean Bradley left with a lower leg injury. That did not look good.
Did not look good.
I was watching him through my binoculars. He was in some serious pain. Whenever Nick is out there right away, and then you see the whole team come over and wish him well, it's not a good sign. So we'll see if we get an update on that sometime soon. But he's a guy who I think was probably still going to make this roster as a special teamer. He didn't have his spot locked up, but it's interesting if he's injured and can't make the team, what they do at linebacker. That might be a spot now for one of those veterans to stick around, or they just don't have a ton of bodies there. Maybe a guy like Kyron Johnson, who's not really an off-ball linebacker but plays a big role in special teams. Maybe that helps him make the roster. I don't know. Ben
Van Sumeren, that's all I got to say. He should be good on special teams, as athletic as he is.
He is very athletic.
Probably a ways away from having that kind of role, but it's a big loss. And I think he was a Pro Bowl alternate special teamer a couple of years ago. Mm-hmm. Personal favorite of Dave and I because he's from Mount Holly, played in Burlington County, Rancocas Valley. Great kid. So hopefully he's okay.
Yeah, wish him the best. Any other notes from those are all my notes from this game. We mentioned Ian Book. I didn't love what I saw from him, but you have to remember he's out there with third team offensive line.
Yeah, it's important to remember that. Talked about Steen, talked about Ringo. We talked about the receivers. No, I think we covered it. I was really disappointed in Greedy Williams. Did not play well. Not going to make the team. I can't imagine how he would. I was really disappointed in that one play with Treadwell on the sideline just before halftime. All you got to do is keep him in bounds, and just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And you got to be able to do that. And this isn't a rookie. This is a fourth-year guy who's played a lot of football in his career. And when Justin Tucker's on the other sideline, you're always in field goal range. That was your favorite play of the game, wasn't it?
He's unbelievable, man. He is so good.
Yeah, and that was
really cool moment for the Brown family. I don't know if you saw this, but so Randy Brown, who is
I thought you meant Sidney and Chase, but yeah, go ahead.
No, for a different Brown family. Randy Brown is the kicking coach for the Ravens. His son Tyler Brown is the assistant special teams coordinator for the Eagles. Tyler's sister, Randy's daughter, sang the national anthem before the game.
Wow,
that's kind of cool.
That is cool.
Yeah,
and they're all from Marlton.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mayor of Marlton. That's a tongue twister.
Yeah, Randy was my mayor for a while.
Did you vote for him?
I don't think I was of voting age when he got in there.
I voted for Jason Tucker instead.
Well, I remember back in the day, because I don't want to say who it was because I don't want to give away where he lives, but another former writer on the beat lived in Marlton. And would always joke when Randy would be at practice. He'd be like, I think I should bring up that pothole today.
I think I know who you mean.
Yeah. You got anything else note-wise? And then we'll get into some of what we heard after.
No, the only other thing, the running back rotation, and you kind of expected this. You mentioned Swift and Penny and Sermon, and then Kennedy Brooks had another fumble. That's bad. He had one in practice the other day.
Yeah.
Brooks Kennedy, whatever. And
Brooks Kennedy's the accountant.
Yeah. Gainwell and Boston Scott didn't play. They'll play Thursday against the Browns. You can't play five guys. I still think DeAndre Swift is RB1 or as close to it as they have. Some games it might be Gainwell, but I think those two are going to be 1 and 2. I think Rashad Penny, if he's healthy, is going to be 3. I think Boston will be inactive or be the next guy in if someone's hurt. And I think Sermon's going to be the odd man out. It's still early. There's a few weeks before final.
I'm kind of with you.
Kind of looks that way.
Yeah, and look, I think it's a little bit of difference to the guys who have been here, but also like they've seen a bunch of Kenny and Boston. I think they're probably more eager to see the other guys. And
Sermon's not bad. I mean, he had great blitz pickup tonight, and I mean, it's kind of tough to evaluate his running because he's behind slappies. Is that fair to say? Slappies?
I don't know if that's fair.
Okay. Well, backups, deep backups will never play football again. Is that better? No, it was, it's tough sledding. There's not a lot of holes to run through. So
it's not like they're facing the 85 Bears either at that point.
That's fair. But, I mean, I don't, it's going to take something really significant to happen for him to make the team, I think.
You might be right. What else? Oh, punter battle. Saw one ugly one from Ty Zentner late. It was like a 40-yard punt when he had it was like a boom situation, and he angled it. I don't know if that was what they were coaching him to do there. Jake Elliott missed the kick when Zentner held. Don't know what that means, but something to keep an eye on. I still don't know what's going to happen with the punter situation. I'm starting to come around on your thought that the punter's not here.
They each had one inside the 20. Yeah, we'll see. I can't get too excited about it.
Oh, you're killing me. All right, let's talk a little bit about what we heard on the other side. Catch all the sports action and more at Rivers Casino Philadelphia. Whether it's the money line or the pass line, there's something for everyone in a great sports book. Rivers Casino Philadelphia. Philly loves a winner. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. So, Rube, after the game, got to talk to a bunch of rookies in the locker room. I missed Tanner McKee and Nick Sirianni at the podium and Marcus Mariota. Did you get to listen to a little bit of them on post?
Yeah, listen to all three of them. Mariota was given the opportunity. I don't want to make this like beat up on Marcus Mariota night, but he was asked about Tanner McKee, and he said, "Well, yeah, I think all the young quarterbacks, did a nice job. The offense is new to all of us." I think he called himself a young quarterback. I believe he's going to be 30 in about 6 weeks, but yeah, I don't know. There wasn't much from Mariota. He's very guarded. He got emotional. He was asked about what's going on in his native Hawaii, and talked about that. The wildfires. It's just what a tragedy. He got kind of emotional talking about that, and he said Hawaii is such a small community. Everyone knows someone that's been affected by it, and he said it's just really, really hard to take, and I can't even imagine what's going on down there. It's horrible. But Tanner McKee talked about how he said just sitting in the hotel all day, he just kept like going through scenarios and what if they throw this coverage, what if they do this blitz, what he said he was driving himself crazy because he had all day to sit around. And he went up to Alex Tanney before the game and said, "This is just surreal. I can't believe I'm about to suit up for an NFL game." But he said as soon as I got on the field, it just seemed like football, seemed like another game. And he played like it. He was calm. He made the right decisions. He didn't certainly seem overwhelmed or anything. But it was cool to see him just so wowed by just playing in a preseason NFL game.
That's pretty cool because I talked to Jalen Carter and Nolan Smith after, and they were like, "No, that was pretty much
right.
That's what I expected. That's felt like college, not a big deal." Which is good. I mean, if that's true, that's good.
And that's the difference between Georgia and Stanford. I mean, it's a totally different animal.
Yeah. Talked to both of those guys a little bit about their debuts. Jalen Carter said he knew coming into this game he was going to see his former teammate Ben Cleveland. He was looking forward to rushing him. On that, he was actually expecting to make an outside move, and then he saw the way Cleveland set, so he went inside of him. Nolan Smith rushing next to him on that play. Yeah. Nolan said that was fun for him because he got to watch it up close. You know, he was looking forward to getting on the bus and watching that play on tape. Talked to Sidney Brown about kind of waiting in the first half and playing special teams. And he said basically what I thought he was going to say, that like, man, he was raring to go. And you saw that when he got out there. I talked to Eli Ricks a little bit. Talked about how big of a confidence boost this can be. Talked about how he was eager to prove who he was. And he knows it wasn't a great year for him last year, and he had injuries. And he's very confident. I like that about him.
Yeah. That's why you're not criticizing his trash talking, because he gave you an interview.
Oh, no. I honestly didn't see the trash talk. Okay. It must have been like a TV.
It was a little over the top, but
was it? But I asked him if he grabbed the football of the interception. He said, "No, I plan on having a lot more in my career."
I like it.
To count. Yeah. I was like, I like that confidence, man.
Yeah.
In the back of my head, I'm like, maybe you should have grabbed that football though, because you don't know. But I get it. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, look, Slay, Bradbury, Job are your outside corners, and Keely Ringo's not going anywhere, and Maddox and McPherson are your slot corners. So
how about McPherson fielding punts?
Yeah, how about that? Where'd that come from?
Been? I don't know. I saw him in the locker room, and I was talking to Eli Ricks, and then he was gone by the time we were done. I'm just curious. I haven't seen him do that once in practice.
No, yeah, that was a little shocking, but
he looked fine.
He was fine. Yeah.
What'd you make of all the weird kickoffs?
I mean,
go ahead.
Look, I'm a Britton Covey fan. I think he's kind of better than people give him credit for. But if you can find someone else to return punts, maybe you can keep one of the impressive young receivers who.
Yeah, but they're not getting on the field anyway.
No, that's true. But yeah, it's a thought.
I know I get the thought, but it's like say they find, all right, Zach McPherson can return punts, which I don't think is likely, but say that's the scenario, then Joseph Ngata is your fifth receiver. Well, he's not getting on the field anyway.
Well, you have him, you teach him, you get him used to the system. Somebody gets hurt, who knows?
Yeah, they're going to do that. He's just going to be on the practice squad.
Yeah, I mean, it's true because I don't think any of these guys are going to get claimed.
You never know. Sometimes you lose someone.
Rarely.
Think back to Casey Toohill a few years ago.
Doesn't happen much. I think Noah Togoa maybe got claimed.
Yeah, he did by the Colts.
We haven't said that one in a while.
It's been a while. The new listeners are like, what the heck are they talking about? Noah Tangiai, one of our favorites. All right, you got anything else here?
No, it's just good to have football back. Yeah, it was a clean game. It was a good game. Some good plays, and I thought way more positives than negatives for the Eagles. I really liked a lot of stuff that I saw.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think you can leave this game feeling encouraged about some young players and some situational stuff. Yeah. There was some not so great too, but it's first game. Long way to go here.
Now, next week, the practices are 5:00, so the podcasts won't be the usual mid-afternoon. So just be patient. We'll have them eventually.
Yeah, and those are the joint practices against the Browns are here Monday, Tuesday, and then the preseason game on Thursday night. So
they wanted to stay at Ohio time, so the practices are 5:00.
That's not how that works. So we'll have pods all next week. They'll be a little later than normal, but we'll still churn them out for you guys.
Sure.
Yeah, that's it. All right. If you enjoy the Eagle Eye Podcast, please rate and subscribe wherever you get your pods. If you're watching on YouTube, please click the like button, subscribe there as well. That's it for Rube. I'm Dave. This has been Eagle Eye. We'll talk to you soon.